What up, guys? So, yeah, I mean, I've been depressed a lot lately with my arm and my mother, but it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I mean, death is a part of life, and I've never really been a fan of life, so it's like I always thought life kind of sucked. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's like no one makes it out alive, guys. I mean, it is what it is. And I did confirm that I am going to receive a life insurance policy from her job. I'm like looking up at the screen, but I really want to look at you guys into the camera. But I am drinking a health drink here. These are really good. If you guys don't know about these Suja, they actually taste very good. Um, Even the Green Delight actually tastes good, which you'd think like would be one of the worst tasting. And so I did confirm for 100% that I'm going to be getting a life insurance policy through her job. It's not like she took $1 million life insurance policy on herself or anything and paid into it, her whole entire life for me. But it's definitely going to be enough for me to like survive on for a while. Easily a solid couple of years to maybe get my feet either into YouTube or do what I really want to do, maybe some video production or something. I'm really not sure, uh, but the fact of the matter is I should be okay. There's some technical difficulties as far as I can't find the title to my car, which is essentially my car now, and it has been for like 3 months. I mean, she hasn't driven since she got hurt, and that's going to be maybe $85 just to get a duplicate title. And it's not like I'm looking forward to this money, but it's taking my mind off of things. I'm looking at cars. I'm thinking about what car would I get if I could get any car, because essentially it's going to be the first car that I'm ever going to buy, probably flat out, that I want, where it doesn't matter about someone else's opinion or if they can drive stick or not. And it's like I could just simply buy a used 2008, 2010 nice car, and then put some money into it and make sure that it's running up to spec. Or I could buy something fairly new, or even new, really, like a Subaru WRX. Maybe even one with just 15,000 miles on it or 20,000 miles. Something that still has some warranty. And I really like the WRX. It's been bumped up to around 260 horsepower plus. So the horsepower is there. But man, with the lawsuit, with the Subaru class action lawsuit, it just gets me thinking, do I really want to even take the chance of buying someone else's used Subaru? Like one guy, I'm not going to actually turn the screen to show you guys, but I was looking at cars for sale, and somebody really close to me in Jupiter, Florida, is selling a WRX, and it says short block installed. That means he had the warranty work done, and I don't know when he did it, because what the class action lawsuit states is that they extend your warranty. But I mean, seriously, aside from an entire engine swap, you might have problems with that car until you get rid of it. I really don't know. There was a lawyer on YouTube who said it's better actually to not join the class action lawsuit and go with a private lawyer, a lemon lawyer, especially in Florida, because Florida has good lemon laws. And he actually, I don't know what he settled for. My hands cramping up here. I don't know exactly what he accomplished, although I do know that what he did say is that he got a better deal than the class action lawsuit people. Let's see. You know what? Maybe I can play this back for you guys real quick. I don't want this video to be too long, but I also don't want it to be...
Shelkoff acknowledges the class action settlement may not work for some people who think they deserve more than an extended warranty.
And those are the individuals that, if they want to opt out, they can certainly opt out. It might make sense for them to do so.
One of them is Scott Bates of Jeanette, who settled a lemon law case with Subaru.
Right.
Before his Impreza had 7,000 miles on it,
7,000 miles.
He had to have his engine rebuilt twice.
Jesus. What was your reaction when you saw that on road coming on after having the engine rebuilt?
I wasn't pleased.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be driving to Subaru, a dealership, and getting my engine rebuilt twice or whatever. I'm certainly not going to want to refill my oil every frickin' time I stop to get gas. It's really ridiculous. There was even a 300-page thread on the official NAO and something forums where you can find North America, Subaru of America, whatever, and it got deleted. And the guy that started it, his name is, if I can remember properly, it was like 79 Tour or something. It's not really important, but he actually did a video on YouTube and he showed the oil spitting out of that the oil had come out of the exhaust because his taillights were not his taillights. The exhaust pipes above it, like on the paint, they were all like black. And he went through hell, guys. Not only did he get trolled by other Subaru owners because they're like, mine's fine, and I said, hey, mine's fine. But I did not doubt him for a second because I understand what it's like when no one will believe you because there's like gremlins in your car or something, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what? Like, no one can tell me. I hate when no one can tell you like that there's a problem, because I had that with my 1993 GSX, my Mitsubishi, because what I didn't know back then. God, I keep looking. What I didn't know back then is that the EC, or the computer module, let's just say that, some call it ECU, blah blah blah. They would overheat, so you'd be driving and the car drives flawless, right? I mean, it wasn't flawless because it was old. It had like 70. I bought it when I had like 76,000 miles on it, and the car was indeed rolled. So it was. I got it cheap. I believe I paid $3,600 for it, and then I paid $3,900 for it, and then like a year and a half later or 2 years later, I sold it for $3,600. So I made out actually in the end. And all I did is but the biggest problem with that car was, aside from this computer overheating, was that if you went above 50 miles an hour, it started to seem like the wheels were unbalanced. But it wasn't. I took it to Sears and I said, "Can you rebalance these tires?" They tried. And the first time I drove away, went back, home, and I said, "Man, it's still the same." So I drove back I think the next day to complain, and they said, "Well, our conclusion is that your rims are bent." Now, maybe not all of the wheels were bent, but something was bent. So I just gave up because I'm not gonna purchase a set of four new rims with tires. It just wasn't gonna happen at the time. So I know what it's like. So what would happen with the engine is I'd be driving and all of a sudden it would just start going running terrible. Goes from running completely flawless engine-wise to puttering. And I took it to 2 different places. They charged me $100, which was ridiculous. Actually, I think one place didn't charge me, but one place did charge me like $100, and that made me very upset at the time because they didn't do anything. So if you're gonna like charge me $100 and not fix the problem, or not even tell me what's going on, I don't understand the mentality around that. I don't. Because they probably stuck in their scan tool for 5 minutes and no codes came up, and maybe they ran the engine and it probably ran fine. I don't know. Like I said, it was intermittent. It didn't happen every time I drove it. It happened just every once in a while. So there went $100, and I never went to them again. And only years later did I find out DSM had problems with their ECU units / computer module. And all I would have needed to do is find a used one, stick it in that car, and it would have ran fine. So is what had happened is I just ended up selling it. I loved it, but man, if I only had an extra $1,000 to have put into the car at the time, I would have gotten all new wheels that made the car ride better. The inside light didn't come on, but it had unreal tint. You could not see inside this car. If you were outside in the sun and you were looking in, there was no way you could see anybody in this car. It was so cool, except it sucked driving at night. At night, you could not see out of this car, like the back. You could not see out of the back of the car. You barely would see someone's headlights. So I don't know what percentage of tint that it was, but it was really dark. And back then there was no Carfax, so like I had no idea what happened to this car. It could have been totaled. It could have been a salvage. I don't believe it was a salvage title though. I don't remember seeing it sort of salvaged, whatever. But I had bought it from the guy right then. I drove it and I said, man, this thing's sweet. I bought it, drove home with like my Ohio plates at the time, and it was just, but the car handled so well around corners. My God, I didn't care that it wasn't the fastest car. It was fast enough, trust me, because it was a little car, but the all-wheel drive added weight to it and stuff. So anyways, long story short, yeah, those cars had computer problems, and I'm looking for a car right now, and I just don't know what I'm gonna do because I have so many choices. As you've seen in my Jaguar video, I don't want a Jaguar, okay? They got the best deal on a Jaguar that you can buy. I mean, stop short of someone giving you a car for free. It's like this car had literally 29,000 miles on it, and the guy was, I guess he was ill, and his wife barely drove it. It's like you can't really ask for much more, and then the guy just says, here you go. Like it was just crazy. So I mean, I guess you could get a salvage title and maybe an expert mechanic rebuilds it. Maybe then you can get a better deal. Like maybe you can get an XK8 or something, like a sportier Jaguar, something really fancy for cheap, like we almost did. Like I said, we almost got the XK8, but it was a salvage. But see, it was salvaged years ago. Like the car was already a salvage title 5-6 years ago, and then some guy bought it and drove it around. So it was a proven salvage title. That's when I think that it's pretty good to buy a salvage title. Maybe not right away, and maybe not if you want to do all the work yourself and go through all the headache. Unless that's your business, that's okay. Unless you're a mechanic or something, or your friend's a mechanic. So this video basically is really just, I'm trying to think of what car I want next. I looked at the Ford Focus, RS. Apparently it's sick. It's absolutely sick fast, but it's a little more than I would want to spend. And it's not like there's a bunch of used ones floating around right now. There's always the Ford Focus, maybe a few generations back, the ST. I haven't really looked into those yet. I really want a WRX. I really do. I don't think that the STI is really worth the money at this point, because I'd have to go back a few years, and the engine is suspect right now. I don't know what's going on with this stupid class action lawsuit, and how many cars. I mean, I heard 600,000 plus cars are affected. It's not just, if it was just Impreza, then of course it might make things easier, but they stick the same engines in other cars. So like, I mean, 79 Latour was his name, actually, like I said before. He went from an Impreza, I believe, or it was either an Impreza or an Outback, I forget. And he got talked into trading it for a Crosstrek, which had the same problem. And people were shitting on this dude. Like, why in the fuck would you? I mean, I agree. Like, why in the fuck would you? He was ragging on Subaru, literally, for hundreds of pages, because they were dicking him around nonstop, and I get it. He was driving back and forth to the dealership, probably dozens of times, to try to find out what was going on. And to go back to Subaru and buy another car, maybe he just thought, no way, like the luck. Could I really have that bad of luck? Maybe that's what he thought, and I understand that. But I wouldn't have. I personally would have said no way. Like even I have reservations right now for going with Subaru. But some states will have maybe less problems. I haven't looked into it, but the BRZ, I believe even BRZs were affected. Like the 2.0s were affected. And I think there is less 2.5s affected by this. Although I really can't be 100% positive. I haven't really delved into it anymore. I looked up this a while ago. But since recently, my life has changed, I'm looking into upgrading my Impreza. And I really want to get rid of this car. And I don't know if any of you guys want a 2007 base model Impreza. I just replaced the front tires with some really good tires. I mean, I always put overkill tires on cars. Cars that you would put on frickin' Mustangs and Vets. I put on my car just different sizes because I like grip. I want to be able to race around a corner and with no worries, even in rain. And my car is not fast, so I just like to be able to have, because I've gone around, gone on on-ramps before when it's wet with some crappier tires, and even in it's not the heaviest car, and I can feel the difference between an okay tire and a really good tire, and then a great tire. The Hankook Ventus tire that was on there, that was hands down probably one of the best tires I've ever had on that car. They don't make them anymore. There's a different version out now. The V12, I think it's called, Evos or something. I'm out of the loop. Because, when I was actually researching tires, I could have told you exactly which one I'm talking about. But all I know is they discontinued the exact model that I bought, and they have swapped them since. So, yeah. I got on there now, BF Goodrich Comp 2 All Seasons. I didn't want the All Seasons, I'll admit. I did not want them, but the ratings that they were getting online was ridiculous. Everybody couldn't wait for these All Seasons to come out, and I don't even need All Seasons because I'm in Florida. But they look sort of like rain tires, and they're very grippy, and they're comfortable. So you can tell that they're sticky because after a long ride, just when you put your finger on them, you can just tell they're sticky. And in the rears, I have some old RS3As from Cooper, which are they're not quite on their last legs because they're in the rear. The sides are worn a little bit because I needed an alignment, and I was waiting until I got new tires, and after I had to replace the wheel bearing, like you guys know if you watch my videos. So now that the rear wheel bearing is fixed, they realigned the car. It drives good, but it is a 130,000 mile car. Does it drive 100% flawless? Not really. I think but the transmission from day one really wasn't the best. Like, I don't really like Subaru's automatics. I tend to leave it in third gear most of the time, and I stick it into drive only after like 50 miles an hour, because it doesn't seem like it's very intelligent. It seems like it wants to shift into the last or final gear too early, and then you hear like a shuddering. And I don't know, if that's going to require work or not, but it shouldn't. It just does weird things that I don't like. Most people might not notice it, but I'm just so. I'm always worried about problems in cars. It's just something that I've always been worried about. So, if a car wants to shift too early, I don't like it. And there's no like sport mode or anything like in the Jaguar where it's gonna rev longer. But so I pretty much just use the automatic like a manual. I don't use first, second, third. I just stick it in third, and then when it hits third, I'll stick it into drive. That's what I do. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna look to be getting rid of that shortly. I don't know when. A lot of things just depend. You know, I don't know how long my mom is gonna be in this hospice unit. Um, she hasn't really been calling me. The only time she really called me was when she first got there, and I visited her twice, and the second time was not so fun. Actually recorded part of it and showed you guys, and I needed her to. I didn't actually want her to need her to sign something, but it would have helped. And then when I saw that she could really barely sign her name, I just thought, you know, I just kind of lost hope in a lot of things, because she was supposed to. I told him not to give her pain meds, and now I just feel like she's just on pain meds, like just 24/7, just out of it, just loopy. Doesn't, you know? She's telling me to bring her Arby's. Like, I gave her I don't know if you guys know what a macaron is. It's not a macaroon, it's a macaron. I believe it's a French cookie, the ones that look like little sandwiches. And I said, I got you, you know, a cookie. And I think she literally took a little tiny bite out of it. And she really doesn't have much teeth. She has bad genetics, teeth-wise. And took one little bite, set it down, said, I'll save that for later. I'm like, thinking to myself, yeah, right, you're going to save it for later. Someone's going to come and just throw it in the garbage. Wasted $2.50 for one little macaron. But, oh well. I ate the 2 chocolate ones at home anyways. And they were really good. So, she's really telling me, like, in her mind, she's sort of like on an autopilot, where I would always bring her food in the hospital. I would go to Culver's, or I would go to I don't think I brought her Taco Bell, but she did like Nacho Bel Grandes every now and then, and she liked Arby's Classic, just the regular roast beef sandwich. And look at this fucking vlog, holy shit. But like, yeah, she's saying shit that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not gonna bring you Arby's because you're in a hospice. Like, I'm sure they're feeding you, and it's like, by the time I got there, the thing would be dead cold anyways. Like, Arby's is, you know, across the street from where I live, and she's all the way like on Burns Jordan Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center, which is like, you know, a good 10, 12 minute drive. But it would be longer if I had to cross the street. And she's like, why didn't you bring it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Why didn't I bring it? You didn't ask me to bring it. You didn't even talk to me. So it's just crazy shit happens when people are in hospice, guys. It's just not fun. So if you guys have any questions about what car I should get or look at, go ahead and comment in the comment section. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm definitely looking into getting something. I mean, it's crazy. I'm looking at a BMW Z4. I can get a Z4 cheap with like 60,000 miles on it. And I'm really not too worried at this point about maintenance costs, because I can afford maintenance costs right now. Now, in a couple of years, will I be able to afford maintenance costs? Probably not. So I don't need a warranty on a car if I'm going to buy a used car, because I can just buy a $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 car, and then if it needs work, boom, go and do it, and then hopefully it'll be good. As long as it's not, you know, I'm not looking to buy a piece of crap and fix it up. No, I'm tired of that. I'm done with that. Or I buy a fairly new car with a warranty, and then and just be satisfied. I really don't know. I mean, I'd gladly buy a used WRX for like 18,000. With a few, you know, with a few thousand miles on it, or not a few thousand, but you know, whatever. But like I said, the oil issue is just plaguing my mind. I don't want to run into that, and it's really a shame that they had that issue, because that would be my number one car to go to. I would get a WRX, and well, of course, I'd have to test drive it. Maybe I wouldn't like how it drives. I have no idea, but I assume I would. If it drives anywhere near how mine did new, I would like it. I've already upgraded. I've already got new 2 front shocks in my car, and cross-drilled and slotted rotors for the fronts, new brakes in the fronts. So by the time I sell it, you know, for whatever price I'm going to sell it, someone's getting a dang good, you know, car. It's not a total beater. It does have a dent in the driver's quarter panel. My mom ran into somebody. She was backing up, not looking. I was pissed, trust me, because that lowers the resale value. I mean, I might see how if a dent guy can come out. If a dent guy can come out and take it out for like cheap, I'll do that because then it'll up the. I believe it should up the resale value of the car. But really, I don't care because it's just it's nickel and diamond at this point. So, looking at maybe a 2016, 17 Subaru. I don't know. I really don't know. I could get a BMW Z4 with 64,000 miles on it right here. This guy wants 12,000. I think that's a little high considering there's a guy here who has one for 9,000 at 71,000 miles. So you're getting nitpicky. Anything under 100,000 miles is acceptable because I can literally drive it for 6 months, maybe get tired of it, get something else. It really doesn't matter because you won't really lose much value with a BMW. But there isn't many Z4s. I really like the Z4. I thought it was faster than it was. Now let's say I go to the M Coupe. Wait, why? I just said M Coupe. I literally typed in. No, I clicked M Coupe, and it went to the i8 as if, like as if. Okay, M Coupe. Let's see what comes up real quick. God, this is almost like a fucking live video, guys. I might have to like edit this. Well, surprisingly enough, nothing comes up, and the ones that do are probably in other states for very expensive prices. There's a 1999 BMW. I'll click on it for you guys. 1999 BMW M Coupe, 71,000 miles. And they want almost 26,000 miles. Like, get out of here. I'm trying to remember what the horsepower even is on that. Let's see. Hopefully it comes up for you guys real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I mean 240 horsepower. No thanks. Like a lot of cars like that are just. I mean, I can get a 300 horsepower Mustang V6 if I really wanted if I only wanted horsepower, which I don't. I also want something that handles really well. So, I'm just going to keep looking, guys. And then, hopefully you guys enjoyed this long-ass video. And feel free to recommend me something car-wise. And, I'll take everything into consideration, actually. I'm just sitting here bored out of my mind, looking up cars, looking up prices, just like I did for Lisa's car, who apparently her parents have possibly decided it's their car now. All of a sudden, of course, after I did a video on it, it's like now it's our car. I mean, I found the car. Literally, I called the guy, talked to the guy, made sure that it wasn't a salvage. He called me back. We arranged. He arranged a visit with Lisa's dad, and he went out and as soon as he saw it, he bought it because there's no way you're gonna pass up a car like that. Even if you didn't want that car, I'd literally buy it and sell it. I would buy it. Maybe drive it around. Probably, I don't like the way it drives on the highway. I will admit, there's like I said, there's something with either the tires are overinflated or something, or they're old. It does not drive smooth. Like they have a Q50 Infinity. It's brand new, on lease, 5,500 miles on it. I drove that, and that drives 100% mint, flawless. You drive it. Smooth as silk, even with crappy tires, because it has really shitty tires on there. It has OEM Bridgestones, and I believe I don't know if they're 090s or something. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look it up. Now the good thing about them is they are run flats. That's cool. Maybe that makes them a little better because of the stiff sidewall. But I had those exact. The tread design was on my car, and they were awful. They were only good brand new. As soon as they started wearing even 75% down, they had zero wet traction. Horrible. Even in an all-wheel drive car like mine, the damn thing, I went to hit some bricks one time, and it started pushing my front end like forward a little bit, and I was like, time to get rid of these tires. And I actually sold the other tires. Actually, I think I sold 2 of the tires for whatever, 60, 70 bucks a piece or whatever, because they're like $165 tires. It's ridiculous for junk. So yeah, anyways, I don't know what needs to happen to that Jaguar. I think there needs to be some sort of maintenance done to make it ride as smooth as it should, because I've driven old Jaguars before and they drove like better. So I don't know what needs to be done to it. Whether it's just new tires or maybe some sort of suspension alignment, whatever, I don't know. But it definitely doesn't ride like it should. Like if you're just cruising around town, you probably won't notice it if you're going slow. It's when you start hitting, 55, 60, 70 miles an hour, you notice it. And maybe it's as simple, the wheels aren't balanced anymore. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I talk with you guys for an hour about this shit. This is crazy. So I'm going to keep looking up cars, and maybe I'll make a decision. It's literally impossible for me to make a decision right now. It just is. I can get a used vet. Some guy just, Jimbo's channel on YouTube, he bought a used vet for about 15, 14, I don't know exactly what he paid. Maybe 15,000 for a fucking modified vet. A sick black vet. I'd gladly take it. And he already snapped the rear differential like an idiot. I would have taken it and babied the damn thing. I definitely wouldn't have driven it like him. It needed an exhaust. Granted, it was way too loud. But, I would have babied that thing. And it never would have broke. So, yeah, I doubt I'm going to find... around Florida, you ain't going to find a deal like that, because cars are too nice looking in Florida. And plus, I already looked. I didn't see no $15,000 vets that looked like his. So anyway, guys, yeah, I feel like something stuck on my face. Anyway, I'm loving this iPhone 6s camera. I did realize that it's so much better than the regular 6. I looked up the specs, and thumbs up for that. All right, guys, 32 minutes recording time. Watch part of the video if you want. I'm just gonna keep looking at this. I'm on Auto Trader right now. I'm just gonna keep looking at stuff. Later.